Welcome back to my channel. It's a pleasure to see you in a new episode where we will explore interesting and meaningful things together. Today, I want to share with you 10 extremely powerful Stoic lessons. Lessons that can truly boost your confidence and help you face all challenges in life with inner peace and strength. Have you ever felt like you were swept away by the storms of life, where everything around you seemed to work against you? Or have you ever wondered, am I really good enough? Can I really overcome this? If the answer is yes, then this episode is just for you. Because Stoicism is not simply about learning to stay calm in every situation more deeply. It is an art of mastering your mind and mastering the way you perceive life. It is a path to live with clear purpose and unwavering confidence, no matter what the world outside may bring. And if you find the insights in this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and share the video with your friends and loved ones, those who also need a little mental strength to continue their journey. And of course, remember to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new episodes. Together, we will spread the profound values of Stoicism so that each passing day becomes more meaningful. Now, let's get started. The first lesson I want to talk about is understanding what true confidence really means in today's world. In fact, many of us still misunderstand confidence. Society often associates confidence with arrogance, showing off, or external displays like wealth, status, or being admired by many people. It's easy to mistakenly believe that the more famous or wealthy someone is, the more confident they must be. But is that really true? The philosophy of Stoicism offers us a completely different perspective. According to Stoicism, true confidence does not come from the outside, it comes from within, from a deep understanding and acceptance of oneself, not from the recognition of others. You know, Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That quote may sound simple, but it actually holds an incredibly profound truth. Think about it. How many times have you felt a lack of confidence just because you let others determine your worth? Maybe it was when someone didn't acknowledge your efforts, or when you didn't receive the praise you hoped for, or when you compared yourself to someone else, someone with a more successful career, someone with a more attractive appearance. And then you began to doubt yourself, wondering if you were good enough. But this kind of confidence, based on external factors, is actually very fragile. It's like a sandcastle, easily collapsing under the waves of criticism, failure, or the judgmental gaze of others. That is not a solid kind of confidence, but merely a fragile shell. Stoicism encourages us to seek a different kind of confidence, a resilient confidence that does not depend on other people's opinions or the results we achieve. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That quote feels like a profound reminder we can return to whenever we feel unsteady in life. It reminds us that we cannot control what others think of us or the outcomes of our efforts. We also cannot control the world out there, because it is always full of change and unpredictability. But we can control how we respond to all of it, and it is this awareness of the power to control our inner world that becomes the solid foundation for for building true confidence. A confidence that does not waver with praise or criticism, that does not vanish when we fail, and that does not fade over time. Think of someone you know, someone who seems to radiate solid, unshakable confidence, no matter what storms they face. It could be a friend, a family member, or even someone you met by chance in life. What makes them so special? You might realize that their confidence does not come from what they possess, not from money, status, or the admiration of others. It comes from a sense of inner stability, the calmness when facing difficulties, the ability to stand firm in their values regardless of circumstances. That is the kind of confidence Stoicism aims for. A confidence not dependent on the gaze of others, but built on a foundation of inner strength and clarity. And, one of the most powerful ways to cultivate this confidence is through self-reflection. In Stoicism, it is believed that regularly reviewing our thoughts, actions, and emotions is incredibly important. It's like holding up a mirror, not to fix your appearance, but to look deep inside yourself. When you take time to ask, "What did I do today? What made me feel proud?" Or, "How did I handle a difficult situation?" you gradually gain a clearer understanding of who you are. You recognize your values, your strengths, and your weaknesses, and it is this deep self-awareness that builds a solid foundation for true confidence. Because confidence cannot be sustainable if it is only based on praise or admiration from others. It must come from knowing and accepting yourself. Think back to a moment in your life when you faced a difficult challenge and felt confused or uncertain. Maybe it was an important presentation, a tough project, or a tense conversation. How did you feel at that moment? Did you get caught up in worries about what others might think? Were you afraid of failing? But if you pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and remind yourself of your own values, your efforts, and the things you can truly control, perhaps you will feel calmer, more confident. That is the kind of inner confidence that Stoicism encourages, a confidence that does not shake in the face of uncertainty, that is not swayed by praise or temporary results. And one more very important thing, accepting failure and imperfection. It sounds simple, but in reality, many of us struggle with this. We are often afraid of making mistakes, afraid of not reaching our goals, and that fear holds us back more than failure itself. The Stoics teach that failure is not a bad thing. It is an essential part of life and a wonderful opportunity to grow. Seneca once wrote a very profound line. "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare, they are difficult." That quote is like a gentle yet powerful reminder. Sometimes it is the fear of failure that holds us back, not failure itself. When you dare to face challenges, to take action, and to learn from your mistakes, you are training an important muscle, the muscle of resilience and confidence. Speaking of this, do you remember the story of Thomas Edison? That great inventor went through thousands of failed experiments before creating the world's first light bulb. When asked about those failures, he calmly replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." It's that wonderful. That answer is a living example of the Stoic mindset on confidence, where failure is not the end point, but valuable lessons that bring us closer to success. You see, true true confidence does not come from avoiding failure, but from the belief that you have the strength to keep going, to persist despite difficulties. When you learn to turn failure into stepping stones, when you dare to stand up after every fall, you are building a solid foundation of confidence, something that no one, no circumstance, can take away from you. In summary, understanding true confidence is about shifting your focus from the need for external validation to nurturing inner strength. Stoicism teaches us that confidence comes from mastering our thoughts and emotions, living according to the values we believe in, and accepting failure as an inevitable part of the journey. When you stop relying on others to define your worth, when you know how to listen to yourself and stay true to your chosen path, you become a stronger, more grounded version of yourself, not easily shaken by the storms of life. Just imagine how many people around you, or even yourself, have ever felt lost, confused among countless opinions, advice, and expectations from others. They tell you to do this, not to do that. They say you must succeed in this way. You must become famous in that way. And then you gradually get swept into that whirlpool, forgetting what you truly want, what you truly need, and what you believe in. The result is that you feel anxious, insecure, not knowing where to go. Epictetus once reminded us with a very profound quote. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This quote is not just advice, it is a guiding principle for life. It emphasizes that to build lasting confidence, you must first understand yourself, what you believe in, what you value, what kind of person you want to become. When you know who you are, you no longer have to chase the standards that others set. You no longer have to fit into molds that are not meant for you. No longer have to exhaust yourself trying to please everyone. Living true to your personal beliefs is like putting up a shield to protect you from storms of doubt and uncertainty. When your actions come from your core values, you no longer have to worry about what others think of your choices or how they judge you. You can stand confident in the belief that I am living true to myself, and that is what matters most. Just imagine, a friend of yours is standing in front of a difficult decision, choosing between a high-paying job that requires them to do things against their moral values, or a more ordinary job with less pay but aligned with their principles. What would they do? If they truly understand and respect their own beliefs, they will be willing to let go of that high salary to choose the path that aligns with their values. Because to them, success is not about how much money they have in their account, or how high their position is, but about living honestly, true to who they are. That is courage. That is confidence that comes from within a firm belief that I know what I am doing. I know what is important to me. Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher, emperor, also once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you think deeply about it, this quote emphasizes something very important. It is your beliefs and thoughts about yourself and the world around you that shape how you live and perceive this life. If you build your confidence on superficial values like money, fame, or recognition from others, your confidence will always be shaky, because those things ultimately are outside your control. They come and go like the wind. You cannot hold on to them for long. On the contrary, if you base your thinking on truth, integrity, and a clear sense of purpose, you will find your confidence becoming stronger than ever. Living true to your personal beliefs also means you must stand firm in the face of criticism, opposition, or the doubtful gazes of others. The reality is that there will always be people who disagree with you, who even try to pull you away from the path you are walking. But when you know what matters to you, it is easier to stay true to your principles. Seneca once advised, "As long as you know you are living according to your own principles, let not the criticism of others shake you." That quote is like a guiding light in the darkness, reminding you that confidence does not mean you will never face doubt or opposition, but that you trust yourself enough to stand firm in your values, even when others do not agree. You can see this clearly in simple, everyday situations. Imagine you decide to pursue a minimalist lifestyle because you believe in the value of sustainability and want to live more intentionally. Yet, your friends or family may not understand this decision. They ask why you don't buy more, why you live in a small apartment, why you give up the comforts that everyone seems to desire. But because you are clear about your values, you know why you are doing it. So those opinions do not shake you. You don't need to argue or explain too much. You just need to know that this choice is right for you, and that is enough. Living true to your personal beliefs is like that. You don't need approval from others. You don't need anyone to tell you that you are right or wrong. You just need to know that you are living honestly, and your confidence will be nourished by that very clarity. Another important aspect of this Stoic lesson is building confidence through small, simple actions every day. You don't have to wait for a life-changing situation to demonstrate your beliefs. Every day presents an opportunity for you to practice living according to the values you hold dear. Just imagine, if one of your core values is kindness, you can build confidence simply by consistently treating others kindly, even when it is not easy. It could be when you are in a hurry, when you are tired, or when someone treats you poorly, yet you still try to respond with kindness. These small actions, repeated over time, are the quiet bricks that build a strong sense of stability within you, because you know you are living in alignment with the values you pursue, and that is what nourishes a lasting confidence over time. Self-reflection also plays a key role in living according to your beliefs. The Stoics believe that to grow, to be steady and confident, you must regularly pause and reflect on your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Ask yourself, have I lived according to my values today? How did I behave in difficult situations? Was I swept away by emotions or influenced by the opinions of others? When you take the time to truly look at yourself, you connect more deeply with what truly matters to you. This clarity is the foundation that strengthens confidence, because it helps you know that your life is being guided by the principles you believe in, not by external pressures or fleeting desires. Let's look at a famous example, the journaling habit of Marcus Aurelius. In his meditations, he regularly wrote down his thoughts, asked himself questions, and examined whether he was living in line with his values. He did not write for others to read, but for himself to remind, to correct, to stay true to the path he had chosen. This practice of self-examination helped Marcus not only stay true to his beliefs, but also build a solid confidence in his ability to make sound decisions based on the values he upheld. You see, journaling and self-reflection are not just quiet activities, they are ways for you to continually renew yourself. They help you realize that you are not perfect, but you are trying every day to live as the person you want to become. In summary, knowing and living according to your personal beliefs is a fundamental Stoic lesson for building confidence. When you are clear about what you are pursuing and willing to make decisions based on those values, you are nurturing a sense of steadiness and confidence that comes from within. Stoicism teaches us that confidence does not come from flashy achievements or external approval, but from living honestly, in alignment with the principles you believe in through self-reflection, self-examination, and holding firm to your stance every day. And most importantly, it is the small daily choices, when you consistently act according to your values, that will gradually strengthen this confidence. You don't need to do something grand. You don't need a breakthrough moment to prove yourself. As long as you stay true to your choices, even the smallest ones, you are planting the seeds of a lasting mental strength. A strength that helps you stay steady through the storms of life. In today's world, amidst countless temptations and distractions, focus is not easy. We are living in a world where every day, every hour, even every minute, we are surrounded by information, advertisements, social media, and the opinions of others. That constant noise pours into us a new video, a message arriving, a comment someone just posted, a story that sparks our curiosity. If we are not careful, we will easily be swept along by that chaotic current and lose our sense of direction. The Stoics understand this very well, and they emphasize the importance of simplicity and clarity in thinking. Marcus Aurelius once wrote a powerful question. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? It sounds simple, but if you truly pause to ask yourself this question whenever you face a choice or an influence, you will realize how many unnecessary things you unconsciously pile onto yourself every day. Think about it. How much of our time and energy has been wasted on things that truly don't matter? How many hours have passed by because of mindless scrolling on social media? How many thoughts have been drained by worrying about what others think of us? How many times have you chased things that don't bring lasting happiness? A compliment, a number on social media, or an expensive item? These distractions not only exhaust us, but also erode our confidence. Because when we keep chasing after external things, we gradually move away from our core values. But when you begin to focus on what truly matters, you will feel clearer, more directed, and more confident. That confidence is no longer shaken by praise or criticism, but is nurtured by your own inner compass. Seneca wrote extensively about the brevity of life and the importance of using time wisely. In his famous work on the shortness of life, emphasized, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. That quote is like a wake-up call. Time is your most precious asset, and you must use it to pursue what truly matters, the things that make you feel fulfilled, help you grow, and bring you happiness, rather than sinking into temporary pleasures or societal pressures. When you learn to focus your efforts on what is important, you begin to live with a clearer sense of purpose and feel a deeper, more solid confidence. Imagine you are working toward a personal or professional goal, yet each day you find yourself swept up in countless unrelated things. worrying about what others think, checking social media too many times, or spending time on activities that do not contribute to your goals? Have you ever found yourself in this situation? And as a result, you feel stuck, not making progress, and even lose confidence because you don't know where you are headed. In the spirit of Stoicism, you need to pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values and goals? If the answer is no, that is the moment to have the courage to let go of the distractions that are holding you back and focus all your energy on what truly matters to you. Focusing on what matters is not just about big goals. It also means prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics teach that true happiness and confidence come from inner peace, not from external success. If you are constantly chasing validation from others, you will find your confidence fragile and easy to break, because it depends on the opinions and judgments of others. When they praise you, you feel happy. When they criticize you, you feel sad, and so your life becomes like a leaf drifting along the current, unsure of where it will go. But when you learn to focus on nurturing inner peace through practices like mindfulness, self-reflection, and gratitude, you will feel a steady confidence, a confidence that no one can take away, because it does not depend on any external factor. You see, focusing on what matters is not some far-off lesson. It's something you can practice in every small moment of life. Every time you face a choice, ask yourself, is this really necessary? Will this bring me closer to my goals and values? And if not, don't hesitate to say no. Mindfulness sounds simple, but have you ever asked yourself, have I really been living fully in the present moment? In the fast-paced rhythm of the digital age, where everything happens at lightning speed, pausing, breathing, and focusing on the present moment can sometimes become a major challenge. Yet mindfulness is the key for you to focus on what truly matters while eliminating unnecessary distractions. Practicing mindfulness means being fully present in this moment, focusing all your attention on what is happening here and now, instead of letting your mind get swept away by worries about the past or fears of the future. When you practice mindfulness, you'll feel more connected to every experience. From a warm conversation with a loved one, a task you're working on in the office, to the quiet moment when you sip a cup of hot tea. This ability to be fully present is like a beam of light that illuminates every moment of the day, helping you concentrate better on what is important and fostering a deep inner confidence. And when talking about mindfulness, we can't overlook another key Stoic lesson, letting go of what is beyond your control. Sound familiar? This is the famous principle of Epictetus, who taught that we should focus on what we can control and learn to let go of the rest. Pause and ask yourself, how many times have you found yourself worried or stressed over things completely outside your control? It could be others' opinions, economic fluctuations, or the outcome of an effort you've poured your heart into. But the Stoics would say, stop. Instead of wasting energy on things you can't change, focus on what you can control: your actions, thoughts, emotions, and attitude. For example, when you feel anxious about the future or about results you don't yet know, ask yourself, what can I control right now? Maybe you can't control the final outcome, but you can control your preparation, your mindset, and how you respond to challenges. Focusing your energy on these internal factors is what helps you build confidence, a confidence that does not depend on whether things go smoothly or are difficult, but is based on the belief that you've done your best. Imagine this. You are preparing for an important interview, and of course, you want the best possible outcome. But instead of worrying about how the interviewer will react or whether you will be accepted things beyond your control, you focus on preparing thoroughly, honing your skills, and maintaining a positive attitude. The outcome, whatever it may be, is no longer as important as knowing you did everything you could. That is the Stoic mindset. Focus on your actions, thoughts, and reactions. Let go of the rest. And from there, you cultivate a steady confidence in the face of all uncertainties. In summary, focusing on what matters is an essential Stoic lesson for building true confidence. When you align your focus in the right direction, putting your values at the center, prioritizing inner peace, and letting go of what is unnecessary and beyond your control, you are building a solid foundation for yourself. Stoicism reminds us that confidence is not something you find outside. It is the sense of knowing you are dedicating your time and energy to what truly holds meaning for you. Through practicing mindfulness, cultivating self-reflection, and maintaining simplicity in your lifestyle, you will gradually feel a deep confidence, not just a fleeting one, but a lasting, steady confidence that helps you face and overcome any challenges on your journey. Seneca, the famous Stoic philosopher, strongly believed in the importance of daily self-reflection. He once advised that, at the end of each day, you should spend time reviewing yourself, not to harshly criticize or judge, but to gently ask, what did I do well today? Where did I fail? And how can I improve? Seneca wrote, we should each night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? It sounds simple, but think about it. How long has it been since you asked yourself such questions? Each night, by spending a few quiet minutes reflecting, you will see yourself more clearly, not to nitpick mistakes, but to learn, to grow, to make tomorrow better than today. Practicing self-reflection is like tending to your mental garden. Each time you ask yourself a question, you are pulling out the weeds of negativity and nurturing the seeds of positivity. Over time, this not only helps you recognize your strengths and areas for improvement, but also builds a clear roadmap for personal growth. This deep understanding is the key to cultivating lasting confidence, because when you know where your strengths lie and where you need to improve, you feel guided, empowered to take ownership of your growth. Instead of feeling lost or swept up by others' expectations, you feel in control. And that is what true confidence is. Moreover, self-reflection helps you spot recurring behavior patterns that you may not have noticed. For example, do you often get defensive in conversations? Do you avoid opportunities out of fear of failure? As you start to notice these reactions through reflection, you will begin to see the unconscious habits holding you back. And most importantly, recognizing the problem is the first step toward changing it. When you identify these old patterns, you can start working to break them. Over time, this leads to a greater sense of control over your actions and decisions, and naturally, your confidence will grow alongside this change. One of the core Stoic principles you've surely heard many times is focus on what is within your control and let go of the rest. And you know what? Self-reflection is how you turn this principle into concrete action in your daily life. Imagine this. After a difficult conversation or a stressful situation, you ask yourself, how did I handle that? Did I focus on what I could control, or did I let my emotions take over? This kind of self-questioning helps you become more aware of how you respond to challenges. You gradually learn not to let impulsive emotions drive your actions, but instead to pause, take a deep breath, and respond in a calm and clear way. Self-reflection is not just about actions, it goes deeper. It's about examining your own thoughts and feelings. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, often emphasized the importance of understanding your own mind. He believed that our thoughts shape our life experience. And by regularly reviewing your thoughts, you can train your mind to align more closely with your values and goals. Marcus once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." A statement that seems simple, but if you truly reflect on it, you'll see it carries great weight. So, through regular self-reflection, you gradually recognize the negative thought patterns that silently erode your confidence, like the habit of self-doubt, the fear of failure, or comparing yourself to others. When you notice these thinking patterns, you can begin replacing them with more positive and empowering beliefs. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough to do this," you can learn to tell yourself, "I may not be good at this yet, but I can improve if I keep practicing." It is these small mindset shifts, accumulated over time, that lead to a significant transformation in how you see yourself and life. Picture a familiar moment. You're sitting quietly, and suddenly thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle this," pop into your mind. Who hasn't experienced that feeling? But instead of letting those negative thoughts silently chip away at your confidence, you can use your self-reflection skills to challenge and reshape them. Yourself, have I ever overcome a difficult situation? Was there ever a time when I thought I couldn't do something but ended up doing it anyway? When you take time to reflect on your past experiences, you'll see that you have succeeded before, you have overcome obstacles, and that you are fully capable of facing any challenges that lie ahead. That is how self-reflection helps you build resilience and nurture confidence, by reminding you of your true strength, rather than letting you get stuck in the cycle of self-doubt. Another important benefit of self-reflection is that it keeps you true to your values. In Stoic philosophy, living in alignment with your personal values is the foundation for a fulfilled and confident life. When you regularly ask yourself, "Did I act with integrity today? Was I kind and fair to those around me? Did I stay focused on my goals or get distracted by things that don't matter?" You are reminding yourself of what truly matters and keeping yourself on the right path. It is this grounding in your values that reinforces your confidence, because you know you are living authentically, not chasing the expectations of others, not getting caught up in superficial standards, but living true to the person you want to become. So how can you maintain self-reflection in a practical and effective way? One of the simplest methods is journaling. Imagine having a small notebook next to your bed, where each night you spend a few minutes writing down what happened. during the day, what you did well, how you reacted to challenges, what new lessons you learned. By doing this consistently, over time, that notebook becomes more than just pages of words. It becomes a mirror reflecting your personal growth. Many great Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, used journaling as a tool for daily self-reflection. He wrote down thoughts, asked questions, and answered them to better understand his inner world and make wiser decisions in life. By maintaining the habit of journaling, you will gradually see your progress over days, months. You will see how you have changed, what you have overcome, and little by little, your confidence will be built by your real experiences and the lessons you draw for yourself. Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine you are preparing for an important presentation at work. In the days leading up to it, you feel nervous, wondering whether you will do well, whether the audience will appreciate you. But instead of letting the worry take over, you sit down and ask yourself, why am I worried? What's the worst that could happen? How have I prepared so far? When you truly take the time to reflect, you realize that you have done everything you could to prepare. You have practiced. You have thoroughly researched. You have organized your content logically. And then you remember the times before when you also felt nervous. But in the end, everything went smoothly. That very process of self-reflection not only helps ease your anxiety, but also reinforces the belief that I've done my part and I am capable of handling this challenge. In conclusion, practicing self-reflection is an extremely important Stoic lesson for building and strengthening confidence. By taking time each day to review your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you will uncover valuable insights about yourself, where your strengths lie, what weaknesses need improvement, and how to make progress. Self-reflection not only helps you live in alignment with your values, but is also the key to breaking negative patterns from self-doubt, fear, to unnecessary comparisons, and nurturing a positive mindset that supports you on your growth journey. Whether you practice it through journaling or by simply spending a few quiet minutes reflecting, this process will gradually help you build a solid foundation of confidence, allowing you to face life's challenges with calmness and determination. Resilience, or the inner strength to rise after setbacks, is one of the most important qualities that enables you to face life's challenges while maintaining your confidence. Life, as you know, is not always smooth. We will encounter failures, unexpected events, and obstacles that make us stumble. But how you respond to those situations is what truly defines you, whether you become stronger or feel defeated by life. The Stoics believe that true resilience comes from focusing on what we can control and accepting what is beyond our reach. Remember Epictetus's reminder: it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. This is the essence of resilience. It's not how life treats you, but how you face it. You cannot control being laid off from your job, cannot prevent a sudden storm, or predict every issue in a relationship. But you can control how you respond. And when you choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to fear, you are training your mental and emotional strength. Building resilience doesn't mean avoiding pain or pretending you are unaffected. It means learning to endure difficulties with patience and clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote a powerful line: The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Pause for a moment and truly feel the depth of that statement. The challenges and obstacles you face are not barriers. They are an essential part of your journey. Every difficulty you overcome becomes a step that lifts you higher, stronger, and more confident in your ability to handle future hardships. Imagine a familiar situation. You lose your job. For many, this is a huge shock, feelings of failure, fear for the future, even self-doubt. But from the Stoic perspective, losing your job is not the end, but an opportunity to reflect, to learn, and to recreate yourself. A Stoic would advise you not to dwell on the loss or waste energy on what's gone, but to focus on what you can control. What's the next step? How can you use your time effectively? How can you prepare better for the road ahead? When you approach problems this way, you not only overcome challenges, but turn them into new beginnings, a new chapter in your growth journey. Another crucial part of building resilience is accepting the reality that life is inherently unpredictable. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, imagining in advance the worst that could happen. Don't confuse this with dwelling on negativity. This practice is not to make you pessimistic, but to mentally prepare for inevitable difficulties. When you visualize the worst-case scenarios, you are no longer caught off guard when they occur. And more importantly, you can respond with greater calm and strength because you are ready to face the challenge. Think of someone training for a marathon. They know that during the race they will likely feel exhausted, might face minor injuries, or have moments of self-doubt. But instead of fearing or avoiding these, they prepare for them. They train consistently, take care of their body, learn how to adjust their breathing and manage their mindset. And when the real difficulties arise, legs aching, body weary, they don't panic, they don't quit. They calmly handle the situation because they anticipated it. This is resilience in action. The lesson here is clear. Life is like a long race. There will always be times when you stumble, moments when you feel like you can't keep going. But when you prepare your mind for adversity, you won't be defeated by it. Instead, you understand that failure is an inevitable part of the growth journey, and through it, you cultivate the confidence to face challenges head-on without avoidance, without fear. Resilience is not just the strength to stand up after each fall, but also the positive mindset you maintain when facing life's inevitable challenges. The Stoics believe that the way we perceive things shapes our experience. It sounds simple, but it is truly profound. Seneca once said, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." Pause and reflect on that for a moment. How many times in your life have you felt exhausted, overwhelmed, simply because you believed the situation was insurmountable? In reality, it was often that thought itself that made you give up, not necessarily the challenge itself. When you see difficulties as obstacles, you feel defeated. But if you change your perspective and view challenges as opportunities to grow, you approach them with an entirely different mindset, one of purpose and resilience. This is exactly the spirit the Stoics encourage, maintaining a positive perspective even in the toughest moments. Because how you see the problem will determine how you feel, how you react, and ultimately how you overcome it. Alongside mental strength, Resilience also requires emotional toughness. Life is full of moments that make you angry, sad, disappointed, or afraid. These emotions are a natural part of being human. But the Stoics teach, feel your emotions, but don't let them control you. Epictetus once reminded us, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This means focus on what you can do, your attitude, your response, your decisions, and accept the rest, like the weather, outcomes, or other people's opinions, as they are. Emotional resilience is not about suppressing emotions, but about recognizing them, accepting them, and not letting them dictate your actions. When you develop this skill, you become calmer, clearer, and more confident each time a challenge arises. Let's consider a real-life example. Someone facing a major life event, such as a serious illness or the loss of a loved one. Such experiences are undoubtedly painful and leave behind deep emotional scars. However, a person practicing resilience does not get swept away in a spiral of despair. They allow themselves to feel the pain, but then they focus on what they can control, taking care of their health, seeking support from family and friends, and adjusting their life to fit the new reality. This does not mean denying the pain or pretending nothing has happened. It means embracing the pain as a natural part of life's journey, and then using it as motivation to keep going, to become stronger and more resilient. In conclusion, building resilience is an incredibly important Stoic lesson for cultivating confidence. Life will always present challenges, that is certain. But how you respond to those challenges is what truly determines your inner strength and level of growth. When you focus on what you can control, accept adversity as an inevitable part of life, and maintain a positive mindset, you develop the resilience needed to overcome any difficulty with confidence. The Stoics remind us that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. And when you embrace this mindset, you build an inner strength that equips you to handle whatever life throws your way. Epictetus once said a very famous line, "No man can learn what he thinks he already knows." At first glance, this quote seems simple, but it actually holds a profound truth. It reminds us that in order to truly grow and build confidence, you must first practice humility to recognize that you don't know everything, and that there is always something new to learn. When you open yourself to new knowledge, you are expanding your understanding of the world, and this is the foundation for strengthening confidence. Because the more you know, the more capable you feel in handling new situations and facing challenges you've never encountered before. So what does it mean to embrace curiosity? It means being willing to take in new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. Have you noticed that many people feel a lack of confidence because they fear the unknown, or believe they are not capable of handling new situations? But Stoicism teaches us a different lesson. Approach life with a spirit of curiosity and a passion for discovery, instead of fear or avoidance. When you are curious, you no longer see challenges as threats, but as opportunities to learn something new. Just this shift in perspective alone can significantly boost your confidence, because you have changed your attitude toward uncertainty. Imagine a familiar example, someone starting a new job in a completely unfamiliar field. At first, feelings of worry and uncertainty are unavoidable. But if that person approaches the new job with curiosity, a willingness to learn, asking questions, exploring every small detail over time, they will gain knowledge, develop skills, and their confidence will grow accordingly. They don't fear making mistakes, because they understand that every mistake is a lesson. Instead of closing themselves off in fear, they open up to every opportunity to learn. And it is this openness that acts as a catalyst, helping them progress quickly and become stronger. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "In the life of a Sioux man, his time is a moment, his substance ever flowing, his senses a dim light, his body a prey to worms, his soul a restless eddy, his fortune dark, and his fame doubtful. In short, all that is of the body is as a river. All that is of the soul is as a dream and vapour. Life is a warfare, and a stranger's sojourn, and after fame is oblivion." Reading this, do you feel as though you're standing before a grand panorama of life? Everything is fleeting, fragile, and uncertain. And precisely because of this, the more you embrace that uncertainty with a spirit of curiosity, the more confident you will become in your ability to adapt, respond, and grow. Stoicism not only teaches you how to accept reality, but also emphasizes the importance of constantly improving yourself. The Stoics believe that every day is an opportunity for you to become a better version of yourself, not for external rewards, but for the joy of growth itself. Seneca wrote an incredibly powerful line, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." That quote captures the very essence of Stoicism. Learning is a lifelong process. Your confidence will grow stronger as you commit to this journey, because you know that even if you are not skilled today, if you persist in learning, you will be better tomorrow. Each day brings a new opportunity for you to grow, and when you truly live with that mindset, you will no longer be worried about imperfection. Another very important factor in learning and nurturing curiosity is the willingness to ask questions and seek knowledge from others. Have you ever hesitated to ask something because you were afraid of being judged as incompetent or lacking ability? This is very common, but the Stoics see it differently. Asking questions is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of strength and intelligence. Socrates, who profoundly influenced Stoic philosophy, was famous for his sharp questioning method to uncover the essence of things. He did not hesitate to ask questions that seemed simple, but opened the door to deep reflection. By applying this approach, you not only gather knowledge, but also develop critical thinking skills, and that is a solid foundation for building confidence. Confidence is not about clinging to your current views and believing you know everything. On the contrary, it comes from maintaining an open mindset, being willing to embrace new ideas, accepting changes in perspective when new evidence arises, and continually adjusting your beliefs. The Stoics teach that to achieve wisdom, you must constantly ask questions and refine your beliefs. This does not mean doubting yourself all the time, but maintaining flexibility and a readiness to grow. When you nurture curiosity and adaptability, you reinforce your confidence. Because when you are not afraid of change, but welcome it as part of the learning process, you become more resilient in the face of any uncertainty. Let's imagine a real-life example. You are learning a new skill, like playing the guitar or learning a new language. At first, you might feel clumsy, lacking confidence, even doubting whether you can do it. But by maintaining curiosity, patiently practicing each day, you begin to make progress. Each time you master a new chord, speak a new sentence fluently, you feel more confident. These small achievements, accumulated day by day, contribute to building your confidence. And this principle applies to all areas of life. From learning a new skill, exploring a different perspective, to staying open to new experiences. Curiosity fuels growth, and it is this continuous process of growth that builds confidence. Alongside learning from external sources, Stoic philosophy also emphasizes the importance of learning about yourself. This includes regularly reflecting and committing to understanding your own thoughts, emotions, and motivations. The more you know yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, values, and goals, the more confident you will be in navigating life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius reminds us vividly, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever flow." If you will ever dig, can you picture that? A cool, refreshing spring quietly flowing beneath the surface, waiting for you to discover it. When you pause, listen, and observe yourself, you'll gain greater clarity about who you want to become, what truly matters to you, and how to live in alignment with those values. This deep self-awareness will help you build a solid foundation of inner confidence, steady in all circumstances, no matter how many storms may come your way. In conclusion, embracing learning and nurturing curiosity is a powerful Stoic lesson for building confidence. When you open yourself to new ideas, continually seek knowledge, and view challenges as opportunities to grow, you develop the inner strength to face life's uncertainties with steady confidence. Stoicism reminds us that confidence is not about knowing everything, but about being willing to learn and grow every day. When you adopt a curious mindset, you become more adaptable, more resilient, and more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Have you ever noticed that much of our anxiety and lack of confidence stems from being overly focused on what might happen in the future? Many people fall into a state of unease, always thinking about worst-case scenarios. Will I fail? Will others reject me? Can I really do this? And as the mind races after these fears that haven't even happened yet, we lose connection with the present moment. But Stoicism teaches us that the future is not within our control. Worrying about it only makes you more stressed, more exhausted, and more distracted from what you can actually do right now. Epictetus once said a profound line, "He who is not satisfied with what he has will not be satisfied with what he wishes to have." This quote reminds us of the importance of contentment, of appreciating what you have and what you are doing in the present moment. When you are truly present, you cultivate inner peace, and from that peace, your confidence grows. Mindfulness is not an abstract concept. It's simply being fully engaged in what you are doing. Think about it. When you are completely focused on a task, whether it's a heartfelt conversation, a work project, or even a daily meal, you tend to do it much better. And from that, you naturally feel more confident in your abilities, don't you? The Stoics believed in the power of intentional action. Practicing mindfulness helps you approach everything with greater focus and clarity. Seneca once wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." a short but deeply insightful line. When you let your mind drift everywhere from one task to another, from one worry to the next, you end up mastering nothing. But when you are fully present, you bring the best version of yourself to each situation. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine you are preparing for an important presentation at work. Your mind starts to fill with questions. What if I forget my lines? What if they don't like it? What if I look foolish in front of everyone? These thoughts pull you away from the present moment and shake your confidence. But when you practice mindfulness, you pause, take a deep breath, and focus on what you can control: your thorough preparation, your steady breathing, and how you communicate your message. You bring yourself back to the present moment, where you actually have the power to act. And when you are present, you maintain calmness and confidence, no matter how the presentation turns out. The Stoics also believe that mindfulness is the key to managing emotions more effectively. When you are present, you no longer get swept away by the whirlwind of emotions, but observe them as if you were standing outside. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reflects a core truth of Stoicism. Although you cannot control circumstances, you can control how you respond to them. Mindfulness helps you recognize when emotions like fear, anger, or worry arise, so you are not ruled by them, but can choose how to respond wisely. Imagine yourself in a difficult situation, for example, being harshly criticized by someone. If you're not mindful, you might react impulsively, say something bitter, and regret it later. But when you practice mindfulness, you pause, notice the anger rising, and choose a wiser response. This sense of agency is the foundation of confidence, because you know you can control yourself, even in high-pressure situations. Another important aspect of mindfulness is practicing gratitude for the present moment. The Stoics teach us to appreciate what we have, instead of constantly chasing after distant things. Epictetus once advised, "The wise man does not grieve over what he lacks, but rejoices in what he has." Isn't that a thought-provoking idea? When you cultivate gratitude, you shift your focus from what is missing to what is already there. And this shift not only brings a sense of peace, but also strengthens your confidence, because you feel you are enough, that you have enough right in this moment. The Stoics believe that our thoughts are the mirror reflecting the reality we experience. Marcus Aurelius wrote a deeply profound line: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Imagine your mind as a white canvas. The colors of your thoughts imprint on it, shaping the picture of your emotions, actions, and beliefs. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of the constant stream of thoughts flowing through your mind. And this awareness allows you to challenge negative thoughts, rather than letting them freely shape your mood and behavior. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle this," mindfulness helps you pause and ask, "Is this really true?" From there, you can reframe it more positively. You can remind yourself of the times you overcame challenges, the small successes you've had, to affirm that you are indeed capable. Over time, this practice gradually builds your confidence, because when you change your thinking, you are step by step building belief in yourself and cultivating a more resilient mindset. A simple yet powerful way to practice mindfulness is through breathing exercises. Imagine this. When stress and worry surround you, just pause for a few moments. Take a deep breath, feel the air entering your chest, and gently exhale. By simply focusing on your breath, you draw yourself back to the present moment, calm your mind, and gain greater clarity. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, try taking a few moments for some deep breaths. This simple practice not only helps you stay calm, but also allows you to approach any situation with more clarity and confidence. In conclusion, practicing mindfulness and presence is an incredibly valuable Stoic lesson for enhancing confidence. When you are truly present and fully engaged in the moment, you focus on what truly matters, removing unnecessary distractions and worries, the things that often shake your confidence. Mindfulness also helps you manage your emotions better, cultivate gratitude, and challenge negative thoughts. All these elements work together, gradually building a strong sense of confidence from within. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you are training yourself to develop a strong mind, a calm spirit, and the ability to face any challenge life throws your way. So, after learning how to be present and manage yourself better, what is the next key factor in building lasting confidence? That is having a clear vision, a guiding compass to help you know where you are going and why. Let's explore this together. 8th, a clear vision. One of the most important elements for nurturing confidence in Stoic philosophy is having a clear vision of your goals and values. Stoicism teaches that true confidence comes from knowing where you are heading and why. Imagine this. If you don't know what you want, you will easily feel lost, swept away by outside noise, or swayed by the opinions of others. But when you have a clear vision, you will feel much more confident, because you know you are walking a path that aligns with your values and goals. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse are wasting their time, even when hard at work." This quote makes us pause and reflect. Are you keeping busy in a meaningless way? Working hard alone is not enough. You need to know why you are doing it. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and your core values, every action you take, no matter how big or small, carries a sense of purpose. And it is this clarity that becomes the foundation for building lasting confidence. Think about this. Life is full of distractions from social media, societal pressures, to other people's opinions. It's very easy to get caught up in these and lose your sense of direction. But the Stoics remind us, first, tell yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When you have clarity about who you are and what you want, you know what to focus on and what to let go of. You worry less about the things that don't matter and channel your energy into the things that truly bring you closer to your goals. They might jump from project to project, constantly seeking external validation, or chasing short-term goals that aren't truly sustainable. At first glance, they appear busy, but if you look closely, don't they seem like they're stuck in an endless cycle, always busy but unsure of where they are heading? Without clear direction, it's hard for them to build confidence, because deep down, they're not sure if their efforts are actually leading them to success. On the other hand, a person with a clear vision of their goals and values is very different. They know exactly what they are working for. Every decision and action they take aligns with that vision, and this is what builds a deep sense of confidence, because they know they are on the right path, even if the journey is difficult or slow. Clarity of vision not only helps you feel more confident, but also serves as the foundation for making better decisions. When you know your goals and values, evaluating options, comparing choices, and selecting the path that aligns with long-term success becomes much easier. Seneca once wrote, "If a man does not know to what port he is steering, no, wind is favorable." Can you picture this image? A boat adrift in the sea, with winds blowing from all directions but no clear destination. Whether the wind is favorable or not, it still drifts aimlessly. This is a reminder that without a clear goal, even the best opportunities can turn into obstacles. True confidence comes from knowing where you want to go and having the ability to navigate your life with a clear sense of direction. Let's consider a practical example to visualize this more clearly. Suppose you receive a job offer with a very high salary, but the job conflicts with your values or long-term goals. Perhaps it requires you to work in an environment where you don't feel comfortable, or it negatively affects the work-life balance you are striving for. If you have a clear vision of what you want in life, such as a meaningful job, alignment with your personal values, or time for family, you can confidently decline that attractive offer because you know it doesn't serve your greater purpose. But if you lack that clarity, you might feel confused, worried about missing out on a financial opportunity, or lost among choices that don't align with your true goals. Having a clear vision helps eliminate doubt and allows you to make decisions with confidence, because you know your choices are guided by a greater purpose. So, how do you develop a clear vision? A key lies in self-reflection. The Stoics believe that to live a meaningful life, you first need to understand yourself, your core values, your long-term goals, and what truly matters to you. Marcus Aurelius is a prime example of this practice. He often reflected on his values, reminding himself of his true purpose in life and what mattered most. Thanks to this habit of self-reflection, Marcus maintained his focus and clarity even when faced with great pressure and challenges. Self-reflection doesn't have to be a complex process. Sometimes just spending a few minutes each day asking yourself, what is important to me? Are my actions today bringing me closer to my goal? Is enough to clarify your path. Additionally, another powerful tool for developing a clear vision is the Stoic practice of visualization. Try imagining your ideal future. Who do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? How do you want to live? This visualization is not just daydreaming. It's about creating a clear mental map of your future. And that very map becomes the guiding compass for your actions today. Visualizing your goals helps you strengthen your sense of purpose and clarify the steps you need to take to make them a reality. By regularly connecting with your long-term vision, you gradually develop a solid confidence, because you know you are on the right path and steadily building the future you desire. Think of your values as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is not solid, you will easily be shaken by the storms of life. But when you clearly know your values, you become much more confident in making decisions and choosing the right path for yourself. Values are the core principles that shape how you think, act, and behave in life. They might include integrity, kindness, a growth mindset, or creativity. When you are clear about these values, it becomes easier to make choices that align with your beliefs. Epictetus once reminded his students, "We should always ask ourselves, is this within my control or not?" By focusing on what lies within your control, your values, choices, and actions, you gain the clarity needed to build confidence. Think about it. When you know you value integrity, you won't be swayed by temptations or enticing offers that go against your principles. When you value kindness, you will stay committed to treating others well, even when they don't reciprocate. And it is this alignment between your values and actions that builds solid confidence, because you know you are living authentically. In conclusion, having a clear vision is a core Stoic lesson for enhancing confidence. When you know where you are going and why, you gain the focus and direction necessary to navigate life's challenges. This clarity helps eliminate distractions, make better decisions, and live in alignment with your values. By practicing self-reflection, visualization, and maintaining a connection with your core values, you will develop a clear vision, a guiding compass that helps you move forward with confidence and continuously grow. So, after understanding the importance of vision and values, what's the next step to strengthen confidence? That is a positive mindset, another key foundation of Stoic philosophy. Ninth, a positive mindset. A positive mindset is not just an empty slogan. It is truly the solid foundation for confidence. The Stoics have long emphasized that your thoughts shape your reality. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote captures the essence of the Stoic approach to confidence. When you master your mind, you master your life. Many people still mistakenly believe that confidence comes from external success or the approval of others. But Stoicism teaches that true confidence begins from within, from what you choose to focus on in your mind. If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, fears, or self-doubt, it will be very hard to feel confident in your abilities and decisions. But when you nurture a positive mindset, focus on what you can control, see challenges as opportunities for growth, and cultivate optimism, you are building the inner strength necessary to face life with resilience and confidence. Epictetus once said a famous line, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. You cannot control external circumstances, failures, difficulties, or even others' reactions. But you can control how you perceive and respond to those challenges. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as insurmountable obstacles, you gradually build lasting confidence. And it is this mindset that helps you face adversity with greater resilience, optimism, and calmness. Let's imagine this. One day you experience a failure. Maybe a project doesn't succeed, or a relationship hits a rough patch. How will you respond? Will you let negative thoughts drown you in disappointment? Or will you pause, reflect, and ask, what can I learn from this? What could I do differently to improve? That very moment of choosing how to see the situation is when you train your positive mindset and nurture your confidence. Reframing is simply the conscious act of shifting your perspective on a situation, especially when it seems negative or stressful. The Stoics believe that true power lies in perception. How you perceive an event shapes your experience of it. Let's imagine this. Instead of seeing a mistake as a crushing failure, you reframe it as an opportunity to learn. Instead of focusing on the scar, you focus on the lesson it leaves behind. This small change in mindset can transform how you feel about the situation and boost your confidence, because it reminds you that you can learn and grow from any challenge. Let's look at a familiar example. Suppose you're preparing to speak in front of an audience, a situation that makes many people feel nervous or even fearful. They fear being judged, making mistakes, or facing the gaze of others. But what if you applied a Stoic mindset and reframed the situation? Instead of thinking, "What if I mess up?" you might tell yourself, "This is an opportunity to practice my public speaking skills, to share my ideas with others." When you shift your perspective from fear to opportunity, the anxiety softens and confidence begins to grow within you. Seneca also emphasized the importance of focusing on what you can control. He wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." Think about it. How often are we haunted by things that haven't even happened yet, forgetting that we are here right now? This Stoic lesson reminds us that when you return to the present moment and focus on what you can do right now, you free yourself from worries about the future or regrets about the past. A positive mindset is not wishful thinking, but nurturing a grounded optimism in the present, where you have the power to act, decide, and move forward. Another important aspect of a positive mindset that the Stoics always emphasize is gratitude. Marcus Aurelius often took time to reflect on the simple but valuable things in life. He was grateful for his health, for the important relationships in his life, and even for the opportunities to serve and help others. Isn't that beautiful? Because when you practice gratitude, you shift your focus away from what you lack or what is imperfect and toward recognizing and appreciating what you have, what is going well. Cultivating gratitude in this way trains your mind to see the positive aspects of life, even during difficult times, and this, in turn, reinforces your confidence, because it reminds you of the resources, strengths, and support systems you already possess, all of which are the foundation for overcoming challenges. But developing a positive mindset isn't just about focusing on the good. It also involves recognizing and managing negative thoughts. The Stoics were deeply aware of the impact negative thinking has on mental health and confidence. Epictetus once advised, "When you are offended at someone's fault, turn to yourself and consider your own failings, then you will forget your anger." This quote is not meant to make you blame yourself, but to remind you that whenever you're caught up in a negative emotion, whether it's anger, fear, or doubt, pause for a moment and ask yourself, are these thoughts helpful? Are they based on truth? Or are they just exaggerated fears and insecurities speaking for me? That moment of pausing to ask and challenge negative thoughts is the first step to shifting perspective. And once you recognize them, you can replace them with more positive, constructive thoughts that empower you. Remember, a positive mindset doesn't mean being blindly cheerful and optimistic all the time. It's the ability to see reality, face challenges, but still choose to respond with resilience and self-belief. Imagine you're assigned a difficult project at work. What's your first reaction? You might think, I'm not capable of handling this. I'll probably fail. This negative thought swells like a dark cloud, obscuring every opportunity and weakening your confidence. The worry starts creeping in, making you hesitant and indecisive. But pause for a moment and apply a positive mindset. You might ask yourself, is this thought entirely true? Then you start to challenge it. How many projects have I completed before? What skills have I learned? Who can I ask for help if needed? When you remind yourself of your past achievements, your accumulated skills, and the resources available to you, you start to feel a bit lighter, and your confidence begins to return. This small shift in perspective helps you transform fear into motivation, turning worry into an opportunity for growth. A positive mindset is also tied to acceptance. Accepting that life will bring both successes and failures, and that both are necessary parts of the growth journey. Seneca taught that we should welcome adversity as an opportunity to become stronger. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. Imagine your body as a muscle, and adversity as the weight that challenges your endurance. Every time you overcome a challenge, you not only become stronger, but also more confident in your abilities. When you accept that failure is a natural part of life, you stop fearing it. Instead of avoiding it, you see it as a stepping stone, a rung on the ladder toward success." So, cultivating a positive mindset isn't something lofty or out of reach. It's a foundational Stoic lesson and a habit you can train every day. Remember, a positive mindset means focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude to nurture joy, reframing negative situations into learning opportunities, and accepting challenges as a natural part of life. The Stoics teach us that thoughts shape reality, and when you choose to focus on the positive aspects of life, you are step by step building the kind of solid confidence that can withstand any challenge on your journey. So, after understanding the power of a positive mindset, let's explore another incredibly important lesson: leadership. Not just leading others, but first and foremost, leading yourself. 10th, leadership skills. When you think of leadership, what comes to mind? Power, decision-making ability, charisma and influence. That's true, but Stoic philosophy offers a much deeper perspective. For the Stoics, true leadership is not about commanding others, but about leading through wisdom, integrity, and humility. And above all, leadership starts with leading yourself. The ability to manage your thoughts, actions, and emotions before you influence others. Epictetus once said, a famous line, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This principle is at the core of Stoic leadership. If a person cannot control their emotions, cannot stay steady under pressure, they will easily be shaken and lose the respect of those they seek to lead. Imagine you are a leader. In an important meeting, when tensions run high, do you get swept away by anger and react impulsively? Or do you maintain calm and respond with composure and clarity? A Stoic leader would choose the second path. By controlling emotions, regulating responses, and maintaining calm even in adversity, you not only retain respect, but also inspire confidence in others. Your calm, steady, and principled demeanor becomes a model for your team to follow. When they see you standing firm amid storms, they trust in your ability to lead, and in turn, the whole team grows stronger. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic leaders, is a living example of this philosophy. He not only ruled a mighty Roman Empire, but also left behind a profound spiritual legacy on how to lead oneself and others with patience, wisdom, and integrity. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote many personal notes, quiet reminders to himself. He consistently emphasized that, no matter the circumstance, one must maintain calm, think clearly, and act justly. These were not empty words, but guiding principles that helped Marcus stay grounded amid the storms of power, political pressure, and responsibility for an entire empire. Another key aspect of Stoic leadership is integrity. A Stoic leader is not just good at speaking, but at doing. They lead by example. They ensure that every decision, no matter how small, aligns with their values and principles. They don't say one thing and do another. Instead, they consistently live in accordance with their beliefs. And it is this consistency that helps them build trust and respect from those they lead. Seneca once wrote, "You must live for others if you want to live for yourself." A seemingly simple statement, but it holds the essence of Stoic philosophy on leadership. Leadership is not about seeking power, nor about building personal gain, but about serving others, acting for the common good, and supporting the growth of the team you lead. When a leader is guided by strong ethical principles, they are not just the person at the top, but become a flame of inspiration for the entire team. They ignite a spirit of integrity and honesty, creating a healthy and sustainable work culture. Let's look at a modern example to better visualize this. Imagine you are a manager in a company. You consistently strive to make decisions based on fairness and integrity, even when faced with difficult choices, like having to let an employee go or cut budgets to keep operations running. You don't hide the truth. You don't sugarcoat. Instead, you speak openly and honestly with the team. You clearly explain the reasons and ensure that your decisions align with your values, that you are prioritizing the long-term good of the organization and the people within it. This leadership style builds deep trust. The team knows that you are not making decisions arbitrarily or for personal gain, but based on clear principles and values. And that trust, in turn, becomes a solid foundation that strengthens your own confidence as a leader, because you know that no matter the pressure, you are acting rightly, honestly, and responsibly. Another essential element in Stoic leadership is humility. Unlike the traditional image of leadership that many people imagine authoritative, overbearing, always assuming they're right, the Stoic leader understands that humility is true strength. Epictetus once advised, "First, know who you are, then adorn yourself accordingly." This advice emphasizes that a Stoic leader never pretends to know everything or have all the answers. They are aware of their own limitations, not afraid to seek advice from others, and always open to learning. Do you see the difference? A leader like this is not only approachable, but also creates a positive work environment where everyone feels respected and heard. When employees know that their opinions are valued, they are more willing to contribute and stay engaged. Finally, one of the most important aspects of Stoic leadership is the ability to remain unmoved by praise or criticism. The Stoics teach that both praise and blame are external judgments, and they lie outside your control. A strong leader does not let praise inflate their ego, nor let criticism deflate their spirit. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Imagine this in a big meeting. You just presented an idea, and some people praise you enthusiastically, while others criticize you harshly. If you get carried away by emotions, you might become arrogant after the praise, or lose confidence due to the criticism. But a Stoic leader listens calmly, takes in feedback without letting it shake their belief in their core values. This emotional resilience not only helps you maintain your confidence, but also earns you the respect of others for your steadiness. Many people misunderstand Stoicism as coldness or lack of empathy. But in reality, it's quite the opposite. The Stoics understand that to lead effectively, you must listen, care, and know how to put yourself in others' shoes. Seneca once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." A simple yet profound reminder. A leader, you won't avoid situations filled with tension, pressure, or even conflict. In those moments, you have a choice: to ignore others' feelings and focus solely on results, or to pause, listen, and understand that behind every person is a story, struggles, worries, hopes, and fears. A Stoic leader will choose the latter. They take the time to listen to their team's concerns, especially during stressful projects. They don't see emotions as secondary, but recognize that meeting both emotional and practical needs is what truly strengthens a team. And you know what? It's that balance between empathy and reason that creates a positive, effective work environment. The Stoic approach to leadership also emphasizes a very important principle: serving others. Leadership, from the Stoic perspective, is not about seeking personal glory or power. It's about using your position to help others grow and succeed. Epictetus taught, "We should strive to be useful to others and contribute to the common good." Imagine this: if every decision you make stems from a desire to contribute, from an awareness of serving the community rather than just yourself, how would you feel? This altruistic approach fosters lasting confidence within you. Because when you know that what you do is making a positive impact, helping others and creating value, you feel deeply fulfilled and empowered. Let's take a step back and recap. Stoic leadership is not merely about authority, status, or being the person in charge. It's about training yourself in discipline, acting with integrity, practicing humility, and staying steady in the face of praise or criticism. It's about listening, understanding the needs of others, and focusing on the collective good over personal gain. A Stoic leader is not swayed by the gaze or opinions of the world, but focuses on what truly matters: mastering oneself, serving, others with wisdom and compassion, and because of that, they develop true confidence, not superficial or fleeting, but a solid foundation within, enabling them to lead their teams through even the greatest challenges. To conclude this part, I want to remind you of one thing. Stoic leadership is not a title, but a journey of self-discipline, of acting for others, and of building an environment where everyone can thrive. Thank you for being here with me in today's episode. Remember, confidence is not something you achieve overnight, but with the right mindset and by practicing Stoic lessons every day, you will gradually build it. Stay focused on what truly matters, control your responses, and live by the core values you believe in. When you do that, you'll discover the inner confidence we all need. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with your loved ones. And subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the valuable content coming soon. See you in the next episode.